She believed the intersectional feminist girl boss lie, and, how's that working out for you?
Does anyone else just work their ass off for like the last 3 or 4 years for like a college degree, and now you have a job that you hate and you still can't afford life and you're still miserable and you can't pay any of your bills and you can't live in the house that you imagine and you just feel lied to?
Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
You thought that if you just went to college and got a degree, you'd be able to afford a house and like things that make you happy, but yet you're still barely can afford groceries or clothes or literally anything that makes you happy at all, and you had to spend the whole entire weekend in your bed because you literally don't have any money to go do anything other, like if you buy food you just can't have an entertainment budget. So I'm just wondering if anyone else is dealing with something like this or if it's just me, because this ain't it.
Gotcha, bitch.
At 27, a hardworking, honest man cannot even compete with the attention that you can get from the volume of men on social media. However, fast forward 20 years, at 47, you would give a limb to have an honest, hardworking man who dedicated his life to you instead of the volume of men who would give you momentary attention.
Do you notice the men are no longer persuasive? Once they ask you out on a date and you say no, that's it. Yeah, because, honey, if he wanted to play games, he'd go over to his niece and nephew's house. Maybe go play fetch with his dog at the dog park. I don't know. Play on his fucking PlayStation. Anything is better than playing around with whatever kind of woman this mindset comes out of. Thank you. No lies were told today.
Alright, woman says, do you notice that men are no longer persuasive? Once they ask you out on a date and you say no, that's it, with a little frustrated emoji. And guy replies, top comment, if I want to play games, I got a PlayStation. Oh, that's great. Well done from this guy. Yeah, you know what, man? If a girl's not interested, don't bother. Do your own thing. Focus on your own goals, your own purpose, or your PlayStation. There are better things to do than try to chase women these days. And ladies out there, a lot of guys are also worried about the whole Me Too movement, false allegations, and being labeled a creep. Women throw around the word creep for men so often these days that if a girl says no, yeah, leave her alone. Bye.
I cheated on my ex.
Yeah, I hurt him a lot because I'm also his first girlfriend and everything.
What was it that made you want to cheat on him?
I always wanted to like self-destruct, self-sabotage, but he was like best boyfriend. He treated me right. I don't know what happened, and that's my biggest regret.
Since our separation, I've been with someone who is better in bed. So Jen, after the breakup, there was someone else who was even better.
When we broke up, I was with someone that just gave me everything in the short amount of time that for 8 years I couldn't even feel with him.
I thought I gave my all, because that's all I knew.
We're like almost 30 now, like we should have like a family and kids. Or I mean like it's expected of me to have a family and kids.
We don't.
When a woman says no, men don't even bother with a backward glance or a why. My friends and I have a motto for this. A man has better things to do than cry over a woman who doesn't want him. It's become the norm, and women are starting to catch on that men no longer waste their time pleading for acceptance. As one friend bluntly put it, why should I beg a woman to accept me when I'm the one who's going to end up taking care of her anyway? The modern dating scene has become nothing but a juvenile game of hide and seek, with women getting off on toying with men's emotions. Whether they're in their 20s or pushing 40, these women thrive on the thrill of the chase, keeping men emotionally captive. They love the power trip, bragging to their girlfriends, I can get whatever I want, whenever I want, because there's always some guy willing to do anything to turn a no into a yes. Well, guess what? Men have left that chat. These women are finally waking up to the fact that the days of stringing men along and using them as emotional punching bags and human ATMs are long gone. That era is officially over. Men have stopped simping, and they're fully aware of their countless options. There's a whole world out there to explore, and they're not wasting time on someone playing mind games. It's been a charade from the start. Women have openly admitted that their answers don't always mean what they say. A yes might mean yes, but a no is often code for yes, but I want him to grovel a little. How ridiculous is that? We're all adults, with busy lives and clear goals. Why make a man jump through hoops just for kicks? Even toddlers grasp the concept of no. So why would a grown woman with decades of experience insist that no actually means try harder? One of us is clearly not the sharpest tool in the shed, and it's not me. I know what no means. I don't want what you're selling, so take a hike.
You want a guy to be a provider, correct? When you get married, how much of the household income do you want to be contributing?
Like money-wise?
Yeah. You want him to be the sole breadwinner, correct?
Yes.
You think you'll be able to get that, correct?
Yes.
How many men do you think can go out into the dating marketplace and want to provide zero financially and expect to get a partner?
I don't know.
Very, very few. The vast majority of women, as a lot of the women here answered, I want a guy who makes at least as much as me or more. Or I want a guy to be the sole provider. So could it be the case that the reason that there's a patriarchy and that men occupy the highest positions of power and the most desirable jobs and make the most money is because there's a mating pressure on men that does not exist in women?
Well, that's because we don't have to. No means no. If I go up to a girl and I ask her, hey, let's meet up sometime, or hey, let's go out, and she doesn't say yes, she says anything but a yes, then it's a no. And as a man, you move on because no. But the reality is, as a man, you only pursue those that want to be pursued. Okay? You will only go out with those who actually want your time and attention. Back in the day, men would apply pressure, but you know why? It's because you would get rewarded. You took a girl out several times and you guaranteed your spot in her life. That's how it was. You know, essentially your provision was landing you the girl. All you had to do was go through some dates, and if you liked her, she was yours. Now that's not the case anymore. A girl, you could go out with her as many times as you want, and she doesn't have to give you nothing in return. In fact, she doesn't ever have to do nothing for you. So that's the reality of what dating looks like for a man in 2023. So as you can see with all those comments, the reality is men will ask you once, maybe twice, and that's it. And a lot of women don't understand that most men also have issues with communication just like they do. So sometimes they can't read you if you're joking. Like, I know if I'm with a girl and we're laughing and I say something like, oh, we're going to go back to my place later. And she's like, no, stop joking or whatever. But she's being playful with it and she's flirting with me, then that's not really a no. It's obvious, right? That's just reading the room. It's reading the tone and body language. In fact, the men that are experienced are the ones who can read it. Okay, so someone like myself, I can instantly read if a girl wants to further our date or go a little bit more intimate. But a lot of guys don't know how to do that and they can't even see the signs. So like I said, no means no. It's so easy, even a fucking caveman can do it.
I had an ex that did everything to pursue me. I am talking wine and dine, have these deep emotional moments with me. I mean, we would cry together. He would write these love letters to me. I mean, one day I remember saying I was sick, and maybe like 20 minutes later, there was a knock on my door, and my doorman came up, and he had delivered soup for me. Oh. And I think even a humidifier. This is so random. I was sick and a whole thing. Yeah, right. And this was like the norm for the first 2 years of our relationship, to the point where even his family and his friends were like, this is a changed man. We've never seen this version. And that fed my ego. That made me feel like, oh my gosh, like I've changed him. He's totally different. This is real. This is true. And then 2 years into the relationship, once the in-love experience had ended, he was a completely different person. He was cold.
When women say no, it's often a sly tactic with a couple of ulterior motives. The first is to keep you dangling in the friend zone, which they perversely enjoy. They say no, but still want you orbiting around them, hoping you'll continue showering them with attention. The second reason is to create a convenient fallback. By slyly saying no, they can later whip out the classic, I told you no, but you didn't listen. If the guy has been bending over backward and now expects some reciprocity. Essentially, it's a manipulative way to have their needs met and their bills paid without any real commitment. This game is old, worn out, and frankly, men have wised up to the trap. It's a toxic cycle, and women are now noticing that their game plan is being exposed. They're scrambling to rethink their strategy because they're starting to realize that they might not get another shot once a guy walks away. Some are even backtracking to men they previously rejected, realizing they've shot themselves in the foot by playing these immature and reckless games. I've experienced this nonsense firsthand. I asked a girl out, and she left my message on read. Later, she had the nerve to slide into my DMs with a well-crafted no. Maybe she was trying to impress her friends or play hard to get. Who knows? So I responded with a simple 4-letter word. Okay. A few weeks later, she crawled back, asking silly questions about the previous date and whether I was still interested. I left her on read and moved on without a second thought. It's not strange if a woman says no to a date because not every modern woman is going to appreciate the values I hold as a confident guy, and that's perfectly fine. But groveling and simping just to turn a no into a yes? That's not happening in this lifetime. I wouldn't be able to look my friends in the eye if I did that. It's just not worth the self-respect hit. This is how women often scramble to justify their situation once men decide they've had enough and move on. They quickly shift the spotlight from their own screw-ups and instead harp on the man's reaction to those screw-ups. They might rant and rave about how the man grew distant and stopped showing affection, conveniently sidestepping the part their own overblown ego played in the whole mess. Let me break it down for you. This is the story of a guy who initially treated her like a queen, showering her with love and affection. His devotion was so over the top that even his family and friends couldn't help but notice and pat her on the back for snagging such a catch. But fast forward 2 years, and her ego starts running the show. She probably stopped reciprocating his affection because she felt entitled to all that love. So the guy begins to pull back, realizing that pouring his heart out to someone who no longer values it is a losing game. Why should he keep giving his all to someone who doesn't deserve it anymore? What really baffles me is when I see women getting all teary-eyed and upset because the man they pushed away actually left. Seriously, what were you expecting? You can't push someone away and then act shocked when they don't stick around. Do you expect men to be like loyal pets, waiting by the door for a scrap of attention? One thing men should never do is cling to a place where they aren't wanted. That's a surefire way to stagnate. Instead, move on to where you're appreciated, kings. Women know this rule well. They never stick around where they aren't wanted. Men should adopt the same mindset, especially when it comes to dealing with women. If women are upset because men aren't content being strung along in the friend zone or treated like disposable options, that's tough luck. It's about time men woke up and realized their worth. The days of simping and being a backup plan are over, and it's a change that's long overdue. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. Support this channel through membership. You can also support through PayPal link in the description. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.